Max made his first 2-point field goal of the season last game. He's great. He's 1 for 2. It's 50% for those of you that keep track of things statistically.
So Max, at the end of that Creighton game, I felt like you guys were putting it all together. Like it felt like you guys had almost like turned a corner in that game. Is there stuff that you take from that game going forward that's like, this is the team that we need to be?
Definitely. As a natural competitor, it's tough to take positives from a loss. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is winning. So however you get it done, and whether it's pretty or ugly, you want to win, and you would rather win than lose. But when you lose a tough game like that in a tough environment like that against one of the best teams in the country and against one of the best players in the country who had a great individual performance, and you can see some positives that we can take out of it. And a lot of the things we did, like you said, down the stretch and in the second half are things that we need to be able to replicate over a 40-minute period rather than just sporadically throughout a game.
Like what sort of stuff do you say, hey, this is the stuff that we need to do before we lose?
Down the stretch, we were able to get some crucial stops. I think the game ended on I want to say a 12-2 run, or there was a period toward the end of the game where it was a 12-2 run. We strung those stops together, and then offensively we showed the ability to be unselfish and make the extra pass, which got some easy shots for people, and then just simply converting, making shots, making free throws. We did those things down the stretch. So those are the things we want to, like I said before, replicate and do over a 40-minute period.
Has there been any more emphasis on playing up tempo and really running? Because it just seems like the offense gets in its best flow, and from the defense a lot of the time also. But has there been any stronger emphasis on that lately?
There's been an emphasis on it, but through from a defensive perspective, like we if we get scored on, it's a lot more difficult to run. So naturally, when you emphasize the defense more, you're emphasizing transition offense, because that's what. Like that's not even something that the coaches really need to tell us. That's just naturally what we do when we get stopped. We're like we're going to score. So a lot of it has been emphasizing transition offense, yes, but through the perspective of we need to get stops. We need to do this, that, and the other on defense to create those offensive opportunities.
Do you feel like there are major leaps in development that happened over the period of that trip? I mean, it was only 5 or so days, but do you think that some members or some ideas have really moved forward?
I definitely think so, because those 2 games, although we went 1-on-1, those games are games that we're much more proud of our performance than some of the other games that we didn't play very well throughout the whole game. But obviously the Butler game, Butler has struggled, but Hinkle Fieldhouse is a very difficult place to win, and historically teams just don't have that margin of victory. So that was a big thing, and then down the stretch in the second half against Creighton, a very difficult environment to win in. The game was a ball tips here or there, a shot goes in or out, and it could go either way. So we're happy with some progress we made, but we're not satisfied with the end result. Obviously, you don't want to make progress and lose, so we can take things from those and just say that we got to keep getting better.
In case you guys missed that was a 20-year record at Hinkle Fieldhouse that goes back to the '93 Tar Heels. The margin of victory. Sorry, Raj.
That's what I was referring to.
Was that?
I said that's what I was referring to.
Yeah, that is what I wanted to specify, because not everybody traveled with us.
We don't get to talk to him, so a question about Rashid. How different a guy does he seem right now, confidence-wise, or feeling his place on the team today than he might have as recently as a week or 2 ago?
I feel like with Rashid, it's just getting more comfortable out there, just because naturally he's a freshman. It's his first year playing college basketball. He's throughout the course of the season, he's had to grow and adjust. And when he's in each individual circumstance, he can learn different things. And like like me and like Orlando, we had never played in a hostile road environment quite like the Creighton environment. Definitely, we played at DePaul, we played at Xavier, but I think Creighton was the best road environment. So that's something he relished that. I felt like, and he played very well in that environment. But I don't think he would have been capable of doing so earlier in the season, and so that shows a lot of maturity that he's added, and that he's been coachable, and he's been listening and open, and just trying to get better every day, like we all are.
What are the biggest challenges you see Marquette presenting?
Excuse me?
Marquette, what are the biggest challenges you guys see from them?
Marquette is a very physical team, so that's something we have to focus on. Devontae Gardner is the leading scorer, experienced guy, his role has expanded over the course of his career. So he's a guy we have highlighted on the scouting report, as well as Jamil Wilson. So, I mean, most games in the Big East end up coming down to rebounding, so that's a big emphasis for us against Marquette, and particularly against them because they're so physical and they play a style of basketball that's very, they want to grind it out and really play tough on the boards and play through the paint, play inside. So those are the emphases, and those are the main players, Wilson and Gardner.
Max, a lot of people, myself included, say that you guys are the most talented team in the Big East, one of the most talented in the country. I'm curious, what will it take? I mean, since the beginning of Big Play, talking big picture, what will it take for you guys to play up to the level of your talent? Like, what is it that's been missing over the past month?
I don't know if I can pinpoint one thing that's been missing. You can just kind of tell when we're clicking on all cylinders, and it's not something that's easily pinpointed, but it's just something that when you look in stretches in that Creighton game down the stretch, and in the Butler game, I feel like it was definitely, offensively we were clicking, we were moving the ball, we were being unselfish, there was ball movement and man movement, and then defensively we were talking, communicating, sticking to the scouting reports. It's the things that the coaches stress every day, and it's the things that we just need to make habit and implement on every single possession, and not 25 minutes out of the game, not 30 minutes out of the game, but 40 minutes out of the game. We need to be able to do it from start to finish.
Hey, right now, we're not on track to make the NCAA tournament. If we're the type of team, if we're clicking at the right time, we can run right through the tournament. I mean, is that something that you guys, that crosses your mind, you think about, you talk about?
I mean, we don't talk about that. We definitely, it's something that, on our mind, we're not satisfied with a 2-6 record in the Big East. So naturally, if you're not satisfied with what has happened, naturally you expect to do better in the future by changing the things that you've done wrong and continuing to do the things that you've done well. So just by improving, I wouldn't say we talk about or look forward to the Big East tournament, things like that. We just want to finish out the first half of league play with the Marquette game, finish that strong, and then naturally we have to have, if we want to make the NCAA tournament, we naturally have to have a better record in the second half of the league than we did in the first half of the league. So it's something that is obviously, naturally, it's going to be there, it's going to be on your mind, but it's not something that we'll maybe verbalize in team meetings or in practices or anything like that. But it's just we know that we have to have a sense of urgency and have to perform better down the stretch of the league, or else all the hype will be for nothing, basically. I feel like the performance in our games, I'll just talk about the most recent one, specifically the Butler and Creighton games. Although we lost the Creighton game, we played a lot better than we played in the past few weeks, and I feel like there's incremental progress that has been made. Just because you improve doesn't mean you're going to win every single game, but I feel like we're playing a lot better at this time, and for whatever reason, historically, Coach Lavin's teams have played better in February down the stretch based on progressing on an incremental basis throughout the season. So, that's what we're hoping for. That's what we built this team for, is for late season success in February and March. So that's what we're trying to strive for every day and try to achieve every time we step out on the court. And that starts next with the Marquette game tomorrow.
Going into these games, you kind of have like a desperation feeling. Is that kind of the mood of the team? Like, we need to win this game?
That's definitely, I wouldn't use the word desperation, I'd use the word, we just have a sense of urgency, which we've had a sense of urgency all season, but now, as we're kind of backed into a corner at 2-6 right now, it's like we really, we're not gonna put pressure on ourselves that will make us be uptight, not be able to perform, but we're like, this is something that needs to get done, we can't be 2-6 in the second half of the league, so that's something we need to change.